you never know really what to expect, so we're ready for whatever he brings.
And you said just now that you know, you're not saying it in a disrespectful way, but this is an exhibition match for Manny.
No, I never said it. The exhibition match with Mickey Rourke.
Oh, sorry, okay, sorry, completely wrong there.
No, I was talking about Mickey Rourke with the, Mickey's trying to maybe be an exhibition on Ruslan's show in Russia.
But is Manny going to put on an exhibition then in this fight?
I think he's really ready. He's hungry for the first time in a long time. I mean, even just at the HBO meeting, he knows he's ready. He's very bold about where he's at right now, and he needs a big win right now. He knows that to make the world come back on his side.
Why have you indulged in trash talk against Chris Algieri for Manny for this fight?
What have I said?
Well, they say you've
what have I said? That he believes in magic and bracelets and angels and stuff. I mean, he said that to me. He's told me his angel bracelets. It's nothing he hasn't said to me. I mean, it's not trash talk. It's just that we're going to knock him out. I feel that, hey, I'm confident in my fighter.
But you have been trying to get into his head in that sense.
Why? I don't need to get into his head. I need to get Manny's head. Get Manny to fight the right fight.
You said that Manny's looking hungry for the first time in a long time. What's different, say, to when you were here a year ago for Brandon Rios with Manny now?
Manny came up to me and he said, we've been kind of doing the same thing for a long time, same workouts and so forth, and he wanted to go back to the old workouts with more heavy bag, less mitts, and more strength work. So I said, yeah, it's time for it to change back to that. So we used the heavy bag quite a bit this time. We did 5 to 6 to 8 rounds a day on the heavy bag, just really exploding on it, and it worked on his whip. It helped his strength a lot. He's punching a lot harder, I feel, and his punch rate has gone up actually since then also, because his punch rate actually has been slipping a little bit in his last couple of fights. So I think that he just wanted to get back to where he was when we were fighting Ludwaba and those guys a long time ago. So we changed the workout a little bit, because I think we were getting a little bit stale with each other. We've been together a long time, and it's kind of the same thing over and over again. Always good hard work, but we just wanted to change it up a little bit.
Is the heavy bag work also the fact that Algieri is a much bigger guy? I mean, they're talking about he might come into the ring at say 157, 158. So is that another reason for doing it?
Yeah, because the thing is, when we moved up the welterweight division, we're fighting bigger guys that are like 160 by fight time. This fight's at a catch weight of 144, so he won't be as big. And if he feels good at 144 at this fight, I think the next fight will be at 140, because he makes 140 very easily.
That opens up some better opponents, really.
I think so. I think so, and I think Manny's a better fighter at 140. He's faster, more explosive. I think the knockouts will come back.
Who would you like at 140?
First fight back, Danny Garcia. That's my personal opinion.
Isn't it fair to say, like the last 2 fights before this, you had more of an emphasis on boxing? I mean, he was coming off that Marquez knockout and wanted to fight the smart fight.
Yeah, the thing is, he tried to finish the guy, and I love when guys try to finish guys. I'm an aggressive trainer, and he just walked into a shot and just was like 1 second too soon in that one, and he got knocked out. And the thing about that, though, is that Manny Pacquiao is a realist. He understands boxing. He knows that getting knocked out is part of the sport. That's why it doesn't really affect him that much. He doesn't really care that he get knocked out. He would rather have won the fight, yes, but the thing is, being knocked out didn't devastate him, didn't change his style or his heart. He got knocked out twice before that early in his career, and when I first took him over, he wanted to show me those tapes. I said, why are you showing me these tapes? He says, well, I want you to see my whole career and see what, the good and the bad, and there's always good and bad in boxing. I mean, anyone can get knocked out, and he understands that, and that's why it doesn't really bother him. I remember the first time I got knocked out, it changed my whole life. So, he deals with it a lot better than most people.
Do you find that extraordinary about him that he can kind of deal with it in that way, at that level?
I do, yeah. I mean, it is a good quality. I mean, and it's very true. Anyone can get knocked out.
Do you think it's because he sees the bigger picture in a sense? He's got a very good sense of that.
I do think that. I think he has a better. He sees a bigger picture than like someone like me.
Over here, they were predicting a stoppage. Do you think there's any way that happens? And maybe that lack of fear, is that why Manny can more easily pursue a knockout?
I think so, but it's a stoppage with the power he has. No, come on, there's no stoppage.
Expecting Algier to go toe to toe?
No, I'm expecting him to move on us and try to outbox us.
So if he does that, do you think it's going to be a boring fight?
We're going to try to make it exciting. We're going to cut the ring off. We're going to set traps. We're well prepared for that style, and we're not going to make this a boring fight. No. One thing about Algier, if you get him into different positions and you start exchanging with him, he will throw back. He is brave. I mean, you know, you saw with Ruslan, he has guts. So that's one thing that might get him into exchanges, and I think that's going to help the fight.
Definitely he's not doing a Barrera part 2 here.
Don't think so.
What about Bobby told me that, you know, Manny plans to come up the ring at around 147. What if this guy climbs up the ring at around 154? You think the knockout can still be possible at that, you know, weight difference?
Yeah, I don't think. I think Manny's just faster at this lighter weight and more explosive, and I don't think the weight has really that much to do about this guy, what kind of shot this guy can take.
But you think it would be advantageous for you if he, you know, backs up on the weight?
No, not really. I think if anyone gains more than 10 pounds, they're overdoing it, and food makes you sluggish and slows you down.
So let's face it, boss. Do you believe that Algier can record a knockout with his punching power?
No. No chance. He doesn't have punching power. Give me a break. Haven't you seen him fight? He can't punch.
So why did he accept this fight?
Well, it's a world title fight. It's the biggest fight in the world. He wants to make money. Why else?
But you know, he doesn't think about winning.
I don't care what he thinks. I know I have my guy. We're in a fight right now. You're saying what if, what if, what if? We're here. It's here now, okay? It's the world title fight. Stop asking stupid questions.
Freddie, have you been following any of the Mayweather content? Do you have any more positive feelings about potential of that happening?
I think the commercial was pretty funny, and hopefully that will, like, you know, embarrass him into, like, maybe coming to the table and negotiating that fight. But I've been waiting 3.5 years for this fight. I don't think it's gonna happen. Just, you know, just like I think it would have happened by now. But, you know, hopefully, you know, I want it to happen as badly as you guys.
Freddie, you have two other fighters on this card. How do you get Manny prepared 100% at the same time and not neglect the other fighters and get them ready as well?
Manny's a real good guy. He cares about the other fighters. He'll tell me to go work with them. Manny, I'm going to stay. I'm going to have the assistants work Shiming's corner, and I'm going to stay with you and make sure everything's okay. He said, no. You go work Shiming, help Shiming. I'm okay. Manny's really good about that. He's a team player.
Has there ever been a disconnect where your plan for your other fighter perhaps hasn't been put into effect by your assistant trainers, where you see that maybe you were doing something a little different than you had planned, and then you have to tweak it later on?
Yes, that does happen, and usually the tweaks are kind of small, so they haven't changed them because we're pretty much all on the same page. But sometimes that does happen, and I had to make a few adjustments with Shiming over the last couple of days.
Do you think this is Manny's best chance of knockout victory?
Well, the way everything's been going in training camp, the way he's punching, the way he's hit me on the mitts, and yeah, he's doing real well, and I think he really deep down wants to win by knockout and kind of quiet everyone down a little bit about how he hasn't knocked anyone out in a while.
Freddie, could you tell us more situations about Shimi? We know that during most of the training time, you were not by his side, but he said you were satisfied.
Yeah, I set the program for him and so forth, and it was just a little miscommunication about the distance that we're going from. They had him going from a little bit shorter distance off the angles, and I want him a little more distance off the angles so he has room to punch and not smother his punches. It was just a very small adjustment, and we worked on it yesterday, and we're going to work a little bit on it today, and it's just the interpretation of him understanding what they were trying to say, and sometimes the language barrier does hurt us in those moments. So, but he understands what I want, and we're going to work on that a little bit more today. And it's something that we've done over and over again in the past. It's nothing new. So it's just a very small adjustment. No, it's a big ring. It maybe favors our opponent a little bit, But the thing is, I would like a smaller ring, but it's a ring that we're used to fighting in China. It's the same ring as last time. It didn't help our last opponent. I don't think it's going to help this one either.
Freddie, have you heard anything about a possible Cotto Mayweather fight?
Yes, I've heard a little bit of rumor about that because Miguel Cotto told me if I was in this kind of shape, Freddie, when I fought Mayweather, I would have knocked him out, and I let people know about that, and I guess he got back to Mayweather, so there was some talk about that happening, but right now we're kind of focusing on getting that Canelo Alvarez fight, and I think that's a big fight for Miguel right now. That's the best fight for him at this point. But I have heard about that, yes, but I don't know how far along the negotiations are, if there are any at all.
He may be locked in HBO, or
I don't think so. I think Miguel's free. He's really good at that, but so he can. I think he can take the best offer out there, because I don't think he has any options with anyone at this point.
Freddie, is there anything about Chris that you find extraordinary, or do you see him as a good fighter who just finds himself in extraordinary situations?
When he fought Ruslan, he showed a lot of heart, a lot of balls. He got up, he was hurt really bad, his eye was shut and so forth. But, Ruslan's a good young fighter, but he's still very young, And the thing is, he blew the Bradley fight because he overdid it, and he blew that fight because he didn't really know what to do with the two knockdowns, because he gets so tired trying to finish guys and so forth. Ruslan's a heavy puncher and so forth, but he's not Manny Pacquiao, and Manny Pacquiao is a much better boxer, much smarter, much more experienced. When Manny knocks the guy down twice, he knows what to do with it, believe me.
Freddie, how do you rate Chris Algieri defensively?
I think his defense is pretty good because of his foot movement, not because of his block and punch with his hands. He has good foot movement. He floats on the outside of the ring, but that is not impossible to cut off. If a good fighter knows how to cut the ring off and set traps, it'll only work for a certain amount of time.
How about if he has to stay there at some point later in the fight, maybe because he can't move all night? Do you think that his defense is still good and tight?
No. It's Manny speed, no problem.
Have you noticed against Provodnikov the same punches?
You don't compare Provodnikov and Manny, okay?
Oh,
because
no,
they're not the same people.
Oh, I'm not.
They're worlds apart, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Manny it devastates him every time they spar. Okay, I mean, Ruslan's a good young fighter with every punch. He's not Manny Pacquiao. Don't compare the two. I don't think it's fair.
No, I'm not. But I'm saying that against Provodnikov, you saw that the same, the Algeria kept getting caught with the same wide swinging punches. Didn't really make a adjustment. Do you think that he will come out as a different fighter from that fight? Or
Well, Manny doesn't throw wide swinging punches like Ruslan does, so I don't think that's going to really happen. I think he's got to look at other. He's going to look at more of the speed aspect because, you know, people say that Manny's fast on TV and so forth, and they can't really judge that until you get in the ring with him. When you're in the ring with that speed, it's a much different place. It's much harder to judge than just the TV, watching it on TV. And I think he'll be overwhelmed by the speed right away.
do you know what weight you want? What weight do you expect Manny to come in at?
About 42. After breakfast and lunch. Well, this time after breakfast alone because it's early weigh-in. So they only have time for one meal.
So it's almost like he's 40 already.
He's been in the 30s a couple times in training camp already. So, you know, I try to send him home sometimes, but that's impossible. So I just make the adjustments in the workout and make it a little bit lighter when he gets too low in weight. And I tell him to go home and have a good steak. So he's very well.
If an extraordinary opportunity came up, could he go down to 135?
Yes.
Why do you think Manny's so motivated for this particular fight?
I think a lot of people like bother him about not knocking people out lately, being too compassionate, being too nice, and so forth. I think it's finally starting to set in, and I'm one of those people too because I'm hard on him a little bit why he doesn't finish people, and he tells me, well, I didn't have to. I just wanted to win the fight. I didn't want to really hurt the guy. I said, well, you know, Manny, they're trying to hurt you, and one punch can change a fight. And you know, we saw that in a fight recently. So that one punch did change the fight, and I thought he could have knocked the guy out before that, and then it never would have happened. So I think that's part of the motivation of him trying to use his combinations and his speed. And if he hurts this guy, I think he will finish him.
Algeria's primary weapon, it seems to be his jab.
Yeah.
How important is Manny's own jab to counter that?
Manny did a real good job. He probably has the best jab in the business, but he doesn't like to use it that much. And in this fight, he's going to have to. And we worked on that quite a bit. He used a lot in the De La Hoya fight. It worked very well. And I think that's part of the plan. If we can take his jab away and use ours faster and more effectively, I think that'll be the key to the fight.
I keep hearing that Manny has a fire in his eye that he's really preventing. I hear that, but what do you see in Manny?
He's really fired up. I mean, I like what I see. I don't talk about it too much with him because I don't want to bother him about it, but I like what I see. He's very focused. He's very mean on the mitts. I mean, you know, usually when he hits me a good shot, sometimes and he knows he hurts me, he'll say sorry and stuff like this. This time he just fucking stayed on me. He knocked me down one day on the mitts. He has he knocked his sparring down. He knocked for the first time in a long time. He's had 2 knockdowns with the sparring partners. It's something I haven't seen in a while, and it's everything I see is very good. I like what I see. So I think he's gonna bring it out in the fight. No, that's not true. He a bad bruise, but not broken. Yeah, but he barked him up a little bit, but no breaks. No. And I think Postal has a better jab than Algeria, and that was the key for having him in training camp. To deal with a guy with a good jab. And Postal's best weapon is the jab. And Manny learned a lot with him. He was a very good sparring partner.
Freddie, If Zhu gets through this fight, he's going to fight for the title against the Thai fighter. I'm not ruined wrong. Do you have any thoughts about that fight yet?
Nah, I know that they fought 3 times in the amateurs, and Zhu beat him twice, and they beat Zhu once. It sounds like a really good fight, but I haven't studied tape on him yet and so forth. I really didn't get to spend a lot of time with Shiming for this fight because he stayed in LA for training camp. So I'm looking forward for that title fight for him, and I'm anxious for him to win a world title. Yes.
Do you feel that even though he's only been pro for a little bit over a year and a half, do you feel he's ready at the title fight level?
You know, when I first started working with Shiming, I thought he was going to be world champion in like a week. You know, his talent was so good in the first in training, and then when we had our first fight, he went back to like everything we used to do and so forth, and didn't look that good. And I said, "Oh, we're gonna have to make some adjustments here." So it's been coming a little bit slower, but the thing is, he's getting better and better all the time, and I think that with all his amateur background, that he'll be ready for a title shot at a young age, like Lomachenko was or is, and I think he's right in that same pack with those talented guys.
His last 2 fights, he's shown that kind of killer instinct that people talk about with Manny Pacquiao. He got his first knockout 2 fights ago. Has that changed him mentally, how he approaches boxing, looking for knockouts?
No, he doesn't look for knockouts, but the thing is, I think it's good that he knows the feeling of that, though. I think fighters like that, and I think he liked that feeling of knocking people out, and I think it's going to improve with him. He's a little bit in the middle right now, right? I get him more offensive, but his defense is lacking a little bit. Before he was just too defensive. We can put them both together, we'll have a good fit.
Freddie, Chris's corner said that the grotesquely, swollen items and stuff in the Usman fight wouldn't be a factor in this one. Is that something you plan to attack or go after during the fight just to test it?
I think that's why they brought Stitch in. You know, Stitch is a pretty good cut man, and they brought they didn't have him before, so I guess that's why they have him in to protect that eye in case it does blow up again. But during training camp, we didn't really focus on that at all, attacking that one eye. But you know, if it does get swollen, if it does swell up a little bit, we will go after it.
So you think if it wasn't an issue, then Duran wouldn't be here?
Yes, if it was an issue, he wouldn't be here for sure. He's costing a lot of money. Stitch, and he's good at what he does. They hired a very good cut man. He's good at what he does.
Can Manny fight Algieri from mid-range, or does he have to get in close?
He has to get in close. Mid-range is Algieri's territory.
Freddie, you know that Manny had a very good level. Earlier, Chris is saying that with Usman, Chris was beating him at a 5, and he beats him right now at 7. Who do you rate him?
I don't have a rating system. I think he's not as good as my guy. I think I have the better fighter, and I think that will show on Sunday morning. So, I mean, his rating systems, you know, what's he rating on? I don't know. He's a kickboxing coach. That's all I have to say. I mean,
You're pretty vocal on how you feel towards Algieri.
well, they're very cocky people, and I just don't like that. But the thing is, it's okay. I mean, everyone sees it. Manny does too. So it's him being cocky is good.
What about that stone he gave you at the LA press conference? That's nowhere near you?
That stone, I gave it to my dog. He fucking loves it. He runs around like crazy. He's his new collar. He loves that stone. Yeah. So I should thank him. I should pay him for my dog. But, you know, I don't believe in magic. I don't believe in voodoo. I'm not like that. There's no way, you know, I'm going to put a necklace on and my Parkinson's is going to go away. I wish it was that easy.
Can for people from a kickboxing background, to devise a strategy to beat a guy like Manny Pacquiao, do you think?
Kickboxers usually don't do well in boxing in the history of sport. I'm not saying everybody, but for the most part. I question this strategy, but we'll see.
But do you think that them having not come directly from boxing, that whole group, do you think it hurts them in this fight?
Yes.
Can you talk about Antonio DeMarco? You know, he trained at the season. He's been there, you know, some awards like John Molina and the Nard. You know, what do you expect to see out of him?
Tony, he's a hard worker, good kid. He trained his ass off. He sparred every day. He was very good in training camp. He's ready to fight. We're in a do or die situation right now. We're in there with a good opponent, and but our good opponent, a lot of people thought he maybe lost his last couple of fights and maybe got gifts. So we're ready, and we're gonna put pressure on this guy. We're gonna use our power, and I think it's gonna be a good fight. But it's a very even, competitive fight. But Tony's ready. He's ready to go. Yeah.
What do you think about Roy Jones Jr. and Jesse Vargas?
Yeah.
Connor.
Well, you know, guys like Roy Jones, he was a great fighter, and most great fighters really don't do well training because they expect the fighter to be as good as them and to pick up things as fast as them. Sometimes they don't have the patience. See, I wasn't that good, so I had patience. So I mean, I can just but you know, it depends how Roy Jones really approaches it. He's got to take it into consideration that everybody's not as talented as he is or was, but he knows a lot about boxing. It looks like a real good fit, though. You know, I mean, he's got a good fighter, and he was a great fighter himself. And if he can pass that greatness on, that's a very good thing for him to do.
Freddie, I have 2 interviews, and then you still have to go upstairs and grab stuff for training because it's almost 11 or
Okay.
12 right now.
Where?
Okay. You have one interview here, and you have one interview downstairs with CCTV, and then Garrett it's about 10 minutes,
Okay.
and then it's already 12, so it's up or a quarter to 12. So whenever you're ready.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Hello, brother.
Hey, let me see. How you doing? No drinking. Thank you.
I wish you luck. No?
Yeah, sure.
The guy's to Manny, eh?
Yes.
You look great.
Doing good.
Hey, Freddie, can I get a picture of you?
You said he's not at the level of money. You still maintain that?
Yeah.
Freddie, I tell you. So he works in the gym. You understand? He is hollow.
I know.
He cannot, bad breathing. He cannot even, the jab is a push.
Yes, yes.
What's happening? How could they hold distance?
Maybe Freddie kickboxing coaches see something that you don't. Maybe the angles, or you don't see the kicks.
Maybe he shoots square. Maybe he's a big target. Maybe his footwork sucks. I mean, he's a fucking huge target out there with the kickboxing stance. I seen him get knocked out in a kickboxing match, and you did too. And they showed it to him, and he still denies it.
He said that he just got caught.
But it was an exhibition, but it had judges, an audience, and a referee.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like an exhibition to me.
It wasn't.
Okay, I know it wasn't. But
There's a rematch clause for this one, do you think?
yes,
was
there is a
necessary?
rematch. Huh? You know, that's just part of part negotiations. Rematch clauses are very. They do it'd be like if Manny and Mayweather finally signed. They wouldn't sign a 1-fight deal. They would sign a 2-fight deal. No matter what.
Manny is 3.
It could be 3. That one could be 3. Yeah. So, you know, it's just negotiations, and catch weights are all almost in every fight nowadays and stuff like that. I wish it was like it was in the old days and everyone just fought it the weight limit. But I don't like catch weights, but it's part of life. It's part of life right now.
That was Kiwa was saying that catch weight. There shouldn't be any catch weight.
No, you fight at 40 or 47, one or the other, in my opinion. But I don't make that decision now.
Do you think that Algieri saying that fight didn't even happen or disregarding the knockout is a character flaw in him?
Well, they keep saying they're undefeated. Again, yesterday in kickboxing and in boxing, and they know that that's not true. They're just lying to themselves, and usually when you lie to yourself, it doesn't work. But I don't really give a shit. That's why I've had moments where I could bring it up, but I haven't. I'll bring it up with you guys fucking around and stuff like this, but like at a press conference, I could have brought it up. But there's no sense. It doesn't make any difference in this fight. Just because you get knocked out before doesn't make you a bad fighter. It's part of life. I think it makes you a better fighter, to be honest with you. It makes you grow. I mean, you either come back stronger or you go the other way, and it's not there anymore.
They say that was not a sanctioned fight. It was just...
the left hook and the right hook are real. So...
Yeah. So Freddie, tomorrow, how's it going to be? Instructions for Manny tomorrow after the weigh-in?
I'm just going to go over...
Justin's taking charge of that.
Today the workout is just kind of getting him to calm down a little bit, but it's really hard right now. He's so explosive.
Today? He ran?
No, we're going to do mitts today.
Today?
Yeah, he's begging me. He says, I can't, I'm too tied up. Let me work out at 1:30. So we're going to work out at 1:30.
The last time you didn't do that, Freddie.
I know. I'm just going to give him a little bit. So.
Did he beg for it?
Yeah. Negotiated. He's a good negotiator sometimes. But I see where he's at right now. He's really anxious for the fight. He's too wound up to be sitting in a room. So we're going to do a light workout at 1:30.
Maybe he thinks that he's not yet that he begged you.
I won't let him. No, I won't. He won't go over. He's okay.
What could be the reason behind that, Freddie? That's why he wants to train.
I think he wants this fight so bad.
To get it over with.
He wants to show everyone that he's really. He keeps telling me we're gonna go back to Ludwaba when we fought Ludwaba. And back to the old days. He keeps, his focus is really good. So we'll see. I mean, normally back in the day when he was making weight and so forth, we always had a workout to make the weight and so forth. But this workout, I think, is so he can have a little extra lunch and dinner. So it'll be a light workout, so that he can have a little more rice and steak. His meal for this fight is steak and rice.
That's an old school thing, where like boxers used to eat steak because it felt like make them more like an animal, right?
Well, just that maybe get that hunger. Yeah, I've had a lot of fighters think that way in my lifetime, and I thought that way in my lifetime for my own fights. So the hunger, just eating. Everyone says carbohydrates and things. So, but the thing is, I always fought my best fights when I had a good steak. But it's just I think it's all upstairs. It's all mental.
What are Chris Algieri's chances of winning this fight? 0 to 100.
0. He doesn't belong in the same ring with him. No, I don't see it.
If you don't show up, he's gonna win. Default.
Freddie will climb the ring.
He's too cocky for that.
Can you fight Algeria?
No.
All these guys saw him Wednesday.
Do you think that Algeria just doesn't like he doesn't know what he's in for because he's never been at this level?
Well, I think that they think they're going in there with a guy like Ruslan Pernarikov again and stuff, and then they have a chance. But you know, Manny and Ruslan are fucking like worlds apart. I mean, you know, everyone says that would be a great fight to make and so forth. But you know, I've seen them box in the ring before. It wouldn't be a good fight for one guy. It wouldn't be fair. I mean, after the first day of sparring, I had to go buy a headgear with a bar and stuff like that because he was marked up so much from 3 rounds. I had to stop sparring. So, you know, Manny and Ruslan, I mean, Ruslan's a good up-and-coming fighter, but he's not there yet. He's still learning, you know. Manny's 8-time world champion. He's there. He knows what to do.
You think if Ruslan and Chris would fight again, Chris would?
I think that's good. I thought Chris won the first one, but you know it was a close fight. But I'm not, you know, but I'm not a boxing judge. But I thought Chris won. I thought Chris won the first fight. But anywhere else in the world, that fight would have been stopped with that eye like that. And but he was in his hometown. But I think that would be a good fight next tournament because we do have a rematch clause, and we can make that happen. We do have a rematch clause with Ruslan, with Algeria.
Just make sure that you don't beat him up bad on Sunday, so there's going to be a rematch.
Okay.
Okay? Okay, Freddie.
You have to understand that champions.
Good luck.
Thank you so much.
You don't need it.
I deal with it every day. But yeah, we're going over here in the corner.
Okay.
How are you?
For boxing.
Good luck. Just everything.